Hi, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. Today we're going to answer a question from Helene down in the Milton, Delaware area. So almost to the beaches, Helene. Helene asks, if my dog has escaped and like 6 months goes by, am I still responsible for injuries caused by the dog? And that's a very insightful question because, Helene, as you know, Delaware has strict liability that puts the responsibility, the legal responsibility, for all damages or injuries caused by a dog onto the owner of the dog. 16 Delaware Code, Title 16 of Delaware Code, Section 3053, capital F, says the owner of a dog is liable in damages for any injury, death, or loss to person or property, and it goes on. So what happens if the dog escapes and is gone for 6 months, and you presume that the dog has left and is never coming back? You're still the registered owner. You still are the owner on the license for the dog. What happens if the dog now goes out and bites someone? Are you now responsible for the injuries to a child that the dog has bitten? Or if the dog runs out in the road, a county away and causes cars to get in a car accident, are you now responsible for the injuries from that car accident caused by the dog? Because the statute is very clear and it's very plain, and it says that the owner of the dog is liable for any injuries or damages or losses caused by the dog. And so I think that the answer to your question is, yeah, as the owner, as the person on the license for that dog, you have the legal responsibility for whatever the dog does, whatever the injuries or damages are that the dog causes. The only thing I can tell you is that all of the dog-related laws in the state of Delaware are administered by the Department of Health and Human Services. And so I would say that if you're the owner of a dog, the dog's run away, somehow it got out, 6 months has gone by, you're convinced there's zero chance of getting the dog back. You've searched every local animal shelter, you've looked on there's a list in Delaware for dogs that are lost and found. You've done everything you can, you've posted flyers everywhere that the dog might be. You've put it on social media. You're convinced the dog's never going to be found. It's not coming back. I would send a certified mail letter to the Delaware Department of Health, and I would tell them that the dog ran away 6 months ago. You're presuming that the dog's not coming back, and you relinquish any ownership interest in the dog. In that way, you are disclaiming any responsibility for any injuries or damages that that dog may cause. I mean, this is not something that I would take lightly. If it were my dog and my dog ran away, I would be heartbroken. And if your dog ran away, I think that you're probably heartbroken too. But at the same time, to answer your question, yes, you're still legally responsible under Delaware law. And this is just one suggestion for one thing I think you could do to try to mitigate against that responsibility. I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. If you have questions for me about dog bite, personal injury law, or the law in general, please feel free to send me an email. My email address is ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com.